Time to get started with our webinar on provisional tax and penalties. We're really looking at penalties relating to provisional tax, but a lot of what we say under the penalty provisions will obviously apply to other circumstances other than provisional tax as well. Jackie Aronson here. For those of you that don't know me, I have presented quite a lot of webinars for Provita. I am a tax specialist. I'm an academic professor at Rhodes University. I'm the head of the Department of Accounting at Rhodes and have had many years of experience in academia and specifically taxation. And I've also had some time at SICA and as a practitioner myself. So it is a pleasure for me to be with you all. So we are going to be running through these aspects of provisional tax. Obviously quite a topical issue, especially considering the time of the year, because for many of you, you'll be doing your first provisional tax returns, heading up for the February year ends. And so as we're here in the middle of July, it's probably just getting into bumper provisional tax season. And it's quite important also to take note of some of the legislative changes that have happened with the fourth schedule. There have been quite a few amendments that came through in the 2014 Taxation Laws Amendment Act, which was promulgated in January this year. And so we are going to be highlighting those changes as we go through the webinar as well. We're going to be starting off with just looking at the general aspect of provisional tax, which is, of course, this question of who exactly is a provisional taxpayer. And then we'll be looking at what is required if you are a provisional taxpayer, what are the implications for you. And then, of course, one of those requirements is that you must submit an estimate of taxable income. How do you calculate that? How do you calculate your provisional tax liability? What about the penalties that are charged? What do you do if you are charged a penalty, etc.? The main references that we use, obviously the Income Tax Act, and specifically the fourth schedule to the Income Tax Act, running from paragraph 18 basically, or paragraph 17 in fact, all the way through to paragraph 24, even to 27 through to the extensions, etc. And then, of course, the Tax Administration Act, looking specifically at the penalty provisions. And SARS has also a very useful guide to provisional tax. Just caution that if you are using the SARS guide, just take note of how up-to-date it is, because these guides sometimes don't include the very latest legislation. That can sometimes be a bit confusing. So just bear that in mind. But apart from that, it is a very useful document and has a lot of useful examples, some of which I'm going to be using in the presentation today.